Welcome to our TechSphere Podcast listeners. Ready for a deep dive into Next.js 15? The latest stable release just dropped.
Definitely an exciting time for web dev.
You said it. Next.js 15 is here, and it's like, whoa, packed with features, faster websites, smoother upgrades, even a peek into the future.
Think faster development, smoother upgrades, better security.
And don't forget, a nod to the future with React 19.
Can't leave it out.
Been digging into the Next.js team's official blog post, and wow, lots to unpack. But that's what we're here for, right?
Your guides through the Next.js 15 jungle. That's us.
Okay, so first up, something that made me go, hold on, what? At codemod CLI, this isn't your usual upgrade process. It uses code mods to just automatically handle those breaking changes.
Like a robot assistant taking care of the messy stuff?
Totally. Less wrestling with code, more time to build cool things.
And here's the kicker. It's still canary. You can help shape it.
Now, on to something that might sound scary at first. Async request APIs. I know. Breaking change alarm bells. But trust me.
It's a good thing.
It is. Makes the server work smarter, not harder. Instead of waiting for the whole request, the server can get a head start on components that don't need all that request data.
So the server's like, I got you, fam.
Exactly. And that could mean even faster websites.
Potentially, yeah.
Now, let's talk about something important but tricky. Caching defaults. Next.js made some changes. Seems like they listened to developers because these changes to get route handlers and the client router cache, all about making things more intuitive.
More predictable, too.
Right. Caching is powerful, but if you're not careful,
It can be a bit of a wild card.
by making things less cached by default, it's about balance, performance, and fresh data, especially with partial pre-rendering getting more popular.
Don't want stale data messing things up.
Nope. Okay, ready for some React news? Next.js 15 is all in on React 19 RC for the app router.
Big news.
It is, but they're still supporting React 18 for the pages router, so don't worry.
For those not ready to make the jump yet.
But there's something here that really caught my eye. The experimental React compiler. Less manual optimization. Yes, please.
The exciting thing is it could automate a lot of the grunt work developers do manually. Optimizes your code for you.
More time for the creative, fun stuff. Less time fiddling with code.
Exactly.
And while we're on the topic of speed, let's talk Turbopack going stable. This is a game changer.
Game changer for sure.
Faster server startup, faster code updates, faster root compiling. It's like
A turbocharged engine for your workflow.
you know that frustration waiting for your code to compile or server to restart? Gone.
Poof.
Okay, quick rundown of some other cool updates. Static road indicator, a visual way to see how your pages are rendered.
Handy for understanding what's happening under the hood.
Then we have the experimental unstable after API. Execute code after a response is done streaming. Great for analytics, background tasks, all without blocking the user.
Keep things smooth.
And finally, the stable instrumentation.js API. Deeper insights into the server lifecycle.
Super useful for monitoring and debugging.
Love how Next.js 15 is all about giving developers more insight, more control. Like, hey, we trust you. Here are the tools. Go build amazing stuff.
Empowering, right?
Absolutely. And speaking of empowering developers, check out the improvements to forms with the new form component. Simplifies adding prefetching, client-side navigation, progressive enhancement, all that good stuff.
Forms are like the interactive heart of a website. Got to make them smooth.
Easy to overlook those small changes, but...
Huge impact on the user experience.
Okay, rapid fire round. TypeScript support for next.config.ts. TypeScript fans, rejoice.
Definitely a win.
Self-hosting improvements, especially control over cache control headers, more flexibility for deployment,
Nice.
enhanced server action security, peace of mind knowing your server-side code is locked down,
Security is key.
and finally, optimized bundling of external packages. Big performance wins, especially for initial loading.
Makes a difference.
Wow, we covered a lot. And there's more to come.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started. So lots of big, exciting changes in Next.js 15, but sometimes it's those smaller updates, the ones you might not notice right away, that make a difference.
Oh, for sure. Like finding a shortcut makes your workflow so much smoother.
Right. One that stands out to me is the enhanced security for server actions, those server-side functions you call directly from the client.
Yeah, server actions, super powerful for keeping your front end clean. But there was always that, security question mark.
Exactly. Before, even if a server action wasn't being used, it was still publicly accessible. Imagine this powerful function just sitting there exposed.
Yeah, someone could stumble upon it and...
Cause trouble.
Yeah, not good.
Next.js 15 takes care of that. Dead code elimination and secure action IDs. Unused server actions, poof, gone during the build.
That's reassuring. Like decluttering your code.
Exactly. No more lurking in the shadows.
What about those secure action IDs?
So before, the IDs were kind of easy to guess. Someone could figure them out, access stuff they shouldn't.
No.
Now they're unguessable, non-deterministic, much harder to exploit.
Like a secret code.
Basically. Security boost without the complexity.
Love that. Speaking of making things easier, the improved self-hosting support, giving you more control over your deployment.
Like having your own personal server. Set things up just the way you like.
What kind of improvements are we talking about here?
Well, more control over cache control headers, for one.
Those are important.
Essential for performance, especially caching.
Caching is tricky. Powerful, but tricky.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
This control over cache control headers, you can fine-tune things like stale while revalidate.
Ah!
Okay, what is that? Sounds like a magic spell.
Imagine a restaurant, right? You get the menu, but it's outdated. Dishes might not be available. Price is wrong. Stale content.
Nobody wants that.
Right. Stale while revalidate is like the waiter says, here's the menu, but I'm going to check with the kitchen just in case. You get it right away, but they're fetching the latest version in the background.
Best of both worlds. Speed and accuracy.
Exactly. With the new self-hosting stuff, you control how this works. Fine-tuned caching.
Nice.
Another self-hosting win. Streamlined image optimization. Used to have to install the Sharp library manually.
Little things like that can be annoying.
Now Next.js handles it. Smoother, more efficient. They even have a new demo and tutorial video all about self-hosting.
Great to see them making it more accessible.
Gives developers more choice.
Let's switch gears to bundling of external packages. Behind the scenes, but big impact on performance, right?
Absolutely. It's about optimizing that initial load time. Think of your website like a jigsaw puzzle. Each external package is a piece. Downloading each one individually takes forever.
I like that analogy.
Bundling is packing those pieces into one box. Download all at once.
Makes sense.
Next.js 15 improves this, especially in the Pages router.
What was the issue before?
In the app router, bundling was already the default. Pages router, you had to say which packages to bundle manually.
A bit inconsistent.
Right, now they have bundle Pages router dependencies. Turn that on. Automatic bundling in the Pages router, just like the app router.
Nice and consistent.
Yep, and you can still opt out of bundling specific packages if you need to. Flexibility.
Speaking of keeping things up to date, there's the upgrade to ESLint 9. That's like the code quality watchdog, right?
Keeps you in line.
So what's new?
Well, you get all the latest ESLint goodies, new rules, performance boosts, but they also improved the linting process within Next.js itself. Got rid of some old stuff, made error messages clearer.
Those little tweaks make a difference.
They do. Smoother development experience.
Okay, we've talked about the big changes, but what about those under-the-hood improvements, the things that might not be flashy but still make a big difference for developers?
Let's see. How about the optimization of hot module replacement for server components?
HMR, yeah.
Sounds technical, but basically, developers see their code changes in the browser almost instantly. No more manual refreshing.
That's a huge time saver.
It is, and it's not just about time. It's about that flow, you know? Experiment, iterate quickly.
Instant feedback.
Right there in the browser.
Another under-the-hood win. Faster static generation, especially for pages with slow network requests.
Important because static generation is all about pre-building for speed.
So if you have a page fetching data from, say, a slow API, Next.js generates that page faster.
Yeah.
Snappier website for your users.
Exactly.
And if you need even more control over static generation, there's experimental support for fine-tuning concurrency and retry behavior.
For those who like to tinker under the hood.
So it's not just the big features, it's the small stuff too. All those optimizations and refinements.
Polishing every nook and cranny, from metadata handling to better error messages to enhanced support for parallel routes, attention to detail.
Shows they care about the developer experience.
Absolutely. Next.js 15, it's a big step forward. Excited to see what people build with it.
Wow, we've really explored Next.js 15, haven't we? Robot upgrades, self-hosting tricks, those hidden performance boosts. It's been a lot.
Easy to get lost in all the details. But I think it's good to zoom out, look at the big picture. What does Next.js 15 tell us about the future of web dev, you know?
Yeah, good point. We've been so focused on the what that we haven't really touched on the why. What do you think? What's next? Pun intended.
Well, one thing's for sure, performance is king. Next.js has always been, at the forefront of that, and version 15 takes it even further. Turbopack, optimized static generation, asynchronous requests. It's all about speed.
It really is. like a race to the fastest website.
And not just raw speed either. It's that feeling of speed, Pre-fetching, client-side navigation, making everything feel snappy and instant.
Like the website's reading your mind, loading things before you even click.
Exactly. And then you have the new form component making forms smoother. Small changes, but big impact on how the user experiences the website.
It's like everything just flows.
Smooth, seamless.
And speaking of things working smoothly, developer experience is huge, right? Next.js 15 makes our lives easier. Automated code mods, better linting, streamlined self-hosting. It's like
taking away the headaches.
exactly. So we can focus on building cool stuff.
And don't forget security. The server action improvements, that's Next.js, taking security seriously without making things overly complicated for us.
It's a tough balance to strike security and ease of use.
It is.
And I think they nailed it here.
I think so too.
So to wrap it all up, Next.js 15. Performance, developer experience, and security. Pushing what's possible on the web while making it easier for us to actually build those things.
Exciting times to be a web developer, and Next.js is leading the way.
For sure. If you're as pumped about Next.js 15 as we are, check out the full release notes, links in the show notes.
And if you're working on a Next.js project, think about how these changes can impact your work, the experience you're giving your users. Chance to level up.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Next.js 15. Hope you found it helpful, maybe even inspiring.
And if you enjoyed the show, do us a favor, like, subscribe, share it with your fellow devs. Spread the Next.js love.
Until next time, happy coding, everyone.